Hey everybody, it's Amanda from The Fundamental Home, and today I'm bringing you a video that I'm doing with two of my friends, and it's called 5 Frugal Meals. And my two friends are Christine from Frugal Fit Mom and Tiffany from Large Family Love. And both those ladies have done videos sharing 5 frugal meals for their families, and I'm here today to share with you 5 frugal meals for my family. So if you're coming to visit me from their channel, then I'm just going to tell you that my family is currently me, my husband, my oldest son Brian, who is 22, and my daughter Brianna, who is 16. And we also have 2 other boys that are in different parts of the country doing other things, so they come in from time to time. In fact, I'm expecting one of them this weekend. So we started off with a family of 6, and now we're down to 4, and it's just been kind of an adjustment, which plays into my frugal meals. But anyway, so come join us, hang out with us. I'd love it if you subscribe. We talk about faith, family, food, and frugality here, so all kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, this week we're talking about 5 frugal meals. So I really racked my brain about this 5 frugal meal thing. So the first thing that I am going to tell you is a frugal meal for us because, and I think for other people, because it's an alternative to eating out. So in and of itself, it's not the cheapest meal that you could ever make, but it's definitely frugal in that it's going to save you from eating out all the time. So, and that is, we're going to make burgers and roasted potatoes. So burgers. That's pretty simple. I'm going to show you me making burgers, and I usually fry them with onions. But basically, I'm going to take a pound of ground beef and divide it in 4. And that is, so essentially, 4 quarter-pound burgers. So if you went to a fast food restaurant, a quarter-pound burger is going to cost you at least $5 each. Not here. Not here. You're paying $2.99 approximately per pound for ground beef. So all of the burgers, 4 quarter-pound burgers, are going to cost you $2.99, plus the bread, plus any of the fixings that you use. But you're still going to end up with just the sandwiches for 4 sandwiches, the price of 1 or less, probably, at a fast food restaurant. So here's my 3 burgers that I made, and then I actually just fried this up as ground beef that I'm going to save and use it for spaghetti. So this is actually going to work out really well, because these burgers are for my husband tonight and probably for lunch at least one day this week, because the kids are out. So there you go, hamburgers, and we don't even have to go out and pay at a restaurant. We can just relax at home. Super nice. And I got leftovers. And then potatoes. Now you could make your own French fries. But I prefer not to fry in the grease. Well, a lot of folks have air fryers now. I don't have one. But what I do like to do is roast potatoes. Which essentially all you're going to do is take your potatoes, peel them, cube them, put them in nice little cubes, and then you're going to take a bowl with the potatoes and put some oil in it and put some seasonings in it and just kind of combine them up. And then you're going to bake them in your oven for a little while, and then when they're roasted, they are super tasty. It's those roasted potatoes, I make them all the time. They're really easy. They taste good. They're reminiscent of certain potato wedges that you might get at a restaurant, but I think they taste even better. So you get the whole fast food restaurant appeal without the mess or without the expense. And so I think it's frugal because it's an alternative to eating out. So that's my first frugal meal. So the second frugal meal that I'm going to talk to you about is pasta dishes. So I think pretty standard for most people. They know how to make some pasta dishes because a lot of those are prepared foods or processed foods, and people villainize those, but we're talking about frugal meals here, and I think a lot of families do use some pasta dishes in their menu plans, partially because it's frugal, partially because their family likes it, and you have the benefit of being able to add a lot of healthy things to it. Anyway, I'm going to use for my example here something that I think everybody knows how to make, and it's probably like the newlywed, new family meal, and that's spaghetti. I think spaghetti is just one example of a pasta dish that people make because it's inexpensive. Now, you can make it with ground beef, which is $2.99 a pound, but I like to make it with ground turkey, which I can get at my discount grocery store for $1 a pound. And when I make spaghetti, I usually only use half a pound of meat in my whole pot of spaghetti because I'm adding the meat. In addition to the meat, I'm adding vegetables and other things to kind of stretch that. So you have your pasta sauce, you have half a pound of your meat, and then you have your pasta on which you'll probably add cheese, which is that additional protein, and anything else that you want to add in your pasta. So spaghetti is a really great frugal meal. It's very inexpensive, especially if you divide it up with your whole family. But the other great thing about spaghetti and other pasta dishes is that, believe it or not, you can freeze them. A lot of folks aren't really into freezing pasta dishes. I have done it. In fact, I've got a video that I'm going to link up at the top, and I'm going to show you a picture, and it's my baked spaghetti, which I make with my El Cheapo garlic bread. And so basically, when you have these pasta dishes, and this is something I run into now because I'm used to making for such a large family, then now that we're a smaller family, I still make this giant pot of spaghetti and we have tons of leftovers and nobody wants to have it for 3 or 4 days. So I will take a bag of spaghetti and freeze it. And then one day when I decide I'm going to make baked spaghetti, I will thaw it and add bunches of stuff to it, put it in the oven, bake it up, and it actually tastes really, really good. So I want to encourage you to watch that video and you can see exactly how I do it. But you could do that with other pasta dishes too. Like if you made a macaroni and cheese and you had a bunch of that left, you could put that in the fridge, and you could definitely add some other meats to it and other vegetables. Like if I had mac and cheese, like a lot of times we have it left over at like Thanksgiving or Christmas when you make a really big batch of it. So then you'll put like your leftover ham or your leftover turkey and any of your other leftover ingredients in there, and you can make this big like pasta bake, and it's amazing. So don't be afraid to save your pasta. And also it's frugal because number one, it's a remaking a leftover. So you're not going to waste the things that you already have. And number two, it was an inexpensive meal to begin with. And you could use all of your additional leftovers in your fridge that might not have been from that meal. So lots of great ways to use it. Frugal meal. Number two was the pasta, but number three, we're gonna remake the pasta. We're gonna remake it with the leftover, turn it into a pasta bake or a casserole. So that's 3 frugal meals. So the next frugal meal that I wanna share with you is fried rice. Now, fried rice is so amazing because rice in and of itself is really inexpensive. But then you add to the fact that fried rice is usually made with leftover rice because your rice has to be cold before you fry it. So what we end up doing is when we make curry or any other rice dish, we purposely make extra and save it, and then the next day we'll usually try to have fried rice on the menu plan. So when you have that rice and you fry it up, it's really simple. It takes very little. Basically throw some oil in the pan, put the rice in the pan, put a little soy sauce, and then you're gonna add any of the things extra that you want. You might add vegetables, you might add chicken or beef or whatever meat that you have on hand. People add eggs to theirs. I make tofu fried rice. So, and you can use just about any vegetable you have. I really like tofu fried rice with kale, but chicken fried rice you usually have with like peas and carrots and like a mixed vegetable mix. Whatever you have, you can use it. And that's the great thing about chicken fried rice is, again, you're using your leftovers. The rice usually leftover, any kind of leftover meats, and any leftover vegetables that you just have in your fridge that you want to use up. So again, it's frugal because avoiding that waste. Like a lot of times people make meal plans and they're planning to use all new ingredients. I think you need to really purpose to use your leftovers in every way possible. The goal is to not let anything go to waste. So chicken fried rice or any fried rice is going to be a really great dish for that. And of course, everybody loves it. You know, people go to restaurants just for the purpose of getting fried rice. And really, it's made with leftovers. You can make it so much cheaper at home. Make fried rice. And the other benefit too is when I make fried rice, it's usually not just the rice that's pre-made, but I usually try to pre-bake some chicken in advance. I'm doing that this week on my menu plan. You pre-bake the chicken, pick it off the bones and put it in the freezer, and then one day when you have extra rice, it's like, oh hey, I've got extra meat in my freezer, let me toss that in, and you've got a really quick, easy meal. Cheap, quick, and tasty. I mean, you can't beat that. Great frugal meal. So the last frugal meal that I have is soups, okay? There's a lot of different soups you could try. But I'm going to talk to you about my chicken soup, and I'm going to link that to the top. It's actually my most popular recipe on this channel, and I've got a ton of recipes. But I think it's popular because it's something that everybody can relate to. You know, everybody loves chicken soup. But again, you can make chicken soup with anything that you have that's leftovers. I mean, there's when you see my recipe, there's like a method to it. But you don't have to stick exactly to those vegetables, or you know, I think I made that recipe with pasta. You could make it with leftover rice instead of that. So either way that you do it, it works really well, but the ingredients are always simple, they're always basic, and things that people usually have on hand and can get inexpensively. Again, chicken is super inexpensive. I get my chicken at my discount grocery store. I get 40 pounds at a time for $20. That's 50 cents a pound. You cannot beat that in terms of price. And then if you're using like rice or pasta, both are cheap fillers. And then any vegetables that you have on hand, tossing those in there. I usually do it with potatoes, which I get potatoes for 79 cents a bag. So cutting up a couple of potatoes is, you know, pennies essentially. Carrots, you get carrots for 99 cents a bag. You might could throw celery or an onion, but regardless, they're all simple ingredients that are not going to be terribly expensive. And a pot of soup goes a really, really long way. You make a big pot, it'll feed your whole family in one night, and then you're probably gonna have some leftovers that you can either freeze and have for lunches in the future, or the next day you could just enjoy it for lunch. Or even, I used to, when the kids were younger, I used to plan pots of soup, and we'd have them they were purposely planned 2 days in a row. We'd have chicken soup one night and then chicken soup the next night, and that helped me to not have to be in the kitchen cooking so often, which was a challenge for me when I had young children. There was just so much going on. So, and you know, you would think, well, your family would get tired if you have the same thing 2 nights in a row, but they actually didn't. They usually preferred the second night because the flavors melded and it was really, really good. So, anyway, so soups are really great frugal meals. Again, using all of your leftover things that you have in your fridge and making the best use of them. Or you could even purposely, intentionally make soup in big batches that you can stretch over multiple meals. So those are my 5 frugal meals. Burgers at home instead of eating out. Pasta dishes, including spaghetti or macaroni and cheese, which of course you can mix meats and other vegetables in, and then remaking those pasta dishes into a baked dish or a casserole. It's kind of reusing and renewing those leftover ingredients that you have. And then we have chicken fried rice, again, making the best use of your leftovers, and soups doing the same thing. But all of those meals are tasty, things that you would go to a restaurant for, things that your family will love and enjoy and be comfort foods, and yet are not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So anyway, I hope you'll check out all the video links that I have to make sure that you can see how I make the dishes that I have. I have tons of other frugal meals. I mean, absolutely tons. And I have a playlist that I will also link at the top and you can check out. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that was helpful to you. Hope it gave you some ideas on how you can stretch your pennies at the grocery store. And that's that. So I have grocery haul every Thursday. If you want to come see what I buy. This last week, I actually did a pantry shop and menu plan without grocery shopping because the week before that I overspent. But but anyway, come back Thursday and you'll see my grocery haul, and you'll see how we're feeding our family for $50 a week right now. And don't forget to check out Christine and Tiffany's videos as well if you haven't, and make sure you leave them an encouraging comment, and I hope you get some great ideas. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you next time. Bye!